All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are officially starting Chapter 2, 2.1, Congruent Figures. Hopefully you've heard that phrase before, congruent. Remember, we don't necessarily say equal. We're going to be using the word congruent when we're talking about our geometry and specific shapes. Our objective of the day says identify and name congruent corresponding angles and sides of polygons, then write a congruence statement. So it may sound pretty complicated, but again, we're going to walk it through, trying to help you guys out. You are definitely going to want a straight edge. Make sure you have that. That'll help you make your shapes just a little bit better. And then remember, if you are absent, fall behind, anything like that, the notes are always online and the video as well. So you could always back it up and watch it again. All right, so our congruent polygons. First of all, we need to know what polygons are. Polygons are just a specific closed shape. So for example, if you think about the letter C, that is not closed. So therefore, it is not a true polygon. A polygon, a lot of students view it as essentially like a triangle, a rectangle. And those are the ones that you start off when you're in elementary school. And then as you age up, then you get into the more advanced ones like the 12-sided polygon, which is called a dodecagon. We're going to learn more about that just a little bit later. But again, a polygon, specifically congruent, has the same shape and the same size. So in other words, yes, you may see two squares, but one might be larger than the other. Therefore, they are not the same size. Obviously, the same shape. So if you're looking at a triangle and then you're comparing it to a rectangle, obviously it is not going to be the same shape. So a polygon, congruent polygons, usually is discussing the same size, because obviously we should have the same shape there. Later on in Chapter 2, we'll talk about our congruent polygons using what we call transformations, meaning we might be sliding it around, moving it left, right, up, down. We might be reflecting it. We might be rotating it, and so on. A little bit more to come. So our symbol for our congruent, you're going to see a bunch of congruent triangles, maybe quadrilaterals. You got the nice equal sign and then the wavy on the top. That is a tilde sign in Espanol. You guys might be able to take Spanish 1 next year. You're going to be using your tilde. But for right now, again, we call this our congruent symbol. So if you notice, we have a triangle given to us. We've got our angle measurements present, 40, 65, 75, or if you start at the top and go clockwise, that'd be 75, 65, 40. We would call this triangle ABC. And then we have another triangle here. Most likely it would be RST, but we're going to notice that we're going to try and match things up. So in other words, if I start at angle A on the first triangle, which happens to be 40 degrees, looking at the other triangle, yeah, I'm going to want to start at the 40 degrees as well. So again, you should take a moment and you should be sketching your nice triangles, putting your degree measurements there, your capital letters representing your angles. Maybe we have the sides given to us as well. So if we've got a 10 here, 8, and a 9. Being able to match up with a congruent triangle, we should have our same sides also matching up. Meaning, of course, we have the same numbers, but are they in the same location? Because if they're in the same location, then yeah, that would be truly the same shape and the same size. And by that, I mean, notice the 8 on the original triangle. That is on the side of BC, because if you notice the angles, the measurement, angle B is 75, angle C is 65. Same thing on the other triangle. The 8 is in between those two angle measurements, between the 75 degrees and the 65 degrees. So therefore, we could match these up with what we like to call our marks. Now, the numbers might not be given to you on your homework. You might have a mark given to you like this. It's just a little dash, if you will. And we're going to go ahead and match it up with the exact same number. Now, again, if the numbers 10 and 10 are given to you, yeah, it's pretty easy to match it up. And again, we're going to call those the marks. If they're not given to you, then we're going to practice how we read our congruent statement. So obviously, I've already used mark 1, so that means I need to go ahead and use mark 2. Mark 2 might be on 8, So we're going to put mark 2 on 8. They're called tick marks. Kind of like when you guys were doing the tally marks in elementary school. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, you do that diagonal slash. And then obviously matching up, 9 has 3 marks. I like saying the phrase, buy 2, get 1 free, which means if you have 2 matching sides, like we had here with the 8 and the 10, that's 2 matching sides, the 10 with the 10, the 8 with the 8, automatically for our wonderful triangle, obviously the 9 is going to match up. But if you didn't have those numbers given to you, that could be a very helpful statement. Buy 2, get 1 free. Maybe you want to put that on your notes. Maybe on the side of your notes, the margin like we've told you. Go ahead and rotate it, write it down, buy 2, get 1 free. Then we have our arcs. The arcs are referring to the angle measurement. And again, we're going to match them up. Of course, the 40 matches up with the 40. But if you didn't have those visible numbers, we're going to show you again how you can match up your marks and then match up your arcs. So that would be arc 1. Then we have arc 2, 65 degrees with 65 degrees. And then, of course, arc 3. And sometimes it does get a little bit messy, which is why we want to use a nice pencil on the assignment. In case you make a small mistake, you can erase it and fix it. If you're using a mechanical pencil, you might be able to make your arcs and marks just a little bit better than a traditional pencil, just because, as you know, a traditional pencil gets dull, then the thickness of the lead just makes it a little bit less clean, if you want to call it that. So again, on this triangle, we have our marks and our arcs labeled. We have our numbers identified. Our sides are 8, 9, 10. Our angle measurements are 40, 65, and 75 degrees. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is try and match up if we don't have those numbers given to us. So it says corresponding sides and angles. Hold the same relative position as another side angle. I like to think about it, it's kind of like in the same location, if you will. You may have to kind of turn your head a little bit, turn the paper a little bit, but you're trying to find out where essentially they are in the same location, kind of like matching, if you will. The marks and arcs tell us that they are congruent, which would be the same measurement or the same length of a side. But again, kind of like a matching, like you guys did in maybe preschool, you had those matching games. Similar here. All right, so we're going to use the markings on the pick to fill in the blanks. So that means going backwards, all of the marks and the arcs are identified. So we're going to try and match up the location or position. So again, we're going to talk about where it's located. Is it between 2 specific letters? Or maybe if you're talking about the angles, maybe it's at a specific letter and so on. Because if you can match these up, you would also be able to write your congruent statement. Now, the order matters when we get to our congruent statements. So hopefully you can follow along. All right, so I'm going to give you a moment to go ahead and sketch these 2 images. I'm going to grab my cold brew coffee while you guys are doing that. Again, all you got to do is use your straight edge, make a beautiful triangle in another, put some letters, and put some marks and in some arcs. Again, notes are online, videos online. Here we go. Our corresponding angles, meaning we're trying to match them up. So if you notice, it gives us angle A. Angle A, looking at the picture. Let me see if I can make my pointer option just a little bit better. Angle A, if you notice, it has arc 1. Looking at the other triangle, trying to find a congruent angle, we obviously need to look for arc 1. So you look at the 3 and you stop at the correct location. Again, that is its match. So we would say that angle A is congruent to angle D. Now, whenever it's just one letter, students are definitely more successful than the ones with 3 letters, because remember, the order matters. So on the next one, it says angle ABC. So you want to look at the order. Angle A starts at arc 1, then it travels to angle B, which is arc 2, then it travels to angle C, which is arc 3. So the order is 1, 2, 3. You're going to hear us say that a lot, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but it might also be 2, 3, 1. So again, just follow along and find your matches. Arc, remember we're looking at the angles, arc 1, 2, 3. Going at the, or go to the other triangle, 1, 2, 3. So again, arc 1, arc 2, arc 3. And again, a lot of students are able to catch on pretty quickly if you remember, use the same order. So if you had done it in the wrong order, meaning not arc 1, 2, 3, maybe you accidentally did arc 1, 3, 2, unfortunately that would be incorrect and be incorrect on your assessment. So looking at the third angle, BCA. B starts at 2. Again, we're talking about the arcs. Then it goes to C, which is arc 3. Then it goes to A, which is arc 1. Going to give you a moment to go ahead and find your match looking here. Again, the order according to the letters is BCA. Arc 2, 3, 1. Give you 10 seconds to find the match. Three, 2, 1 second. Time is up. All right, were you able to say angle? So don't forget the little angle sign there. It's not an inequality sign. It's an angle symbol. E, F, D. Because again, B is arc 2, E is arc 2. So going in that order. So speaking about the correct order, it's really the segments that students just kind of go through a little too quickly. So again, want to practice your correct order. So for the sides, corresponding sides, match. We want to find the match. Side AB. Side AB is side 1 or mark 1. So obviously you go to mark 1 first. But remember, the letters have to be in a specific order. The letters you have to use are, of course, E and D because that is mark 1. But the question is, what is the order? So given to us on the original, it says AB. So that means if I start at angle, ooh, look at the angles because AB, arc 1 traveling to arc 2. So here, arc 1 traveling to arc 2. Look at side BC. Side BC is mark 2. So I find the match over here, which is, of course, mark 2. But I need to be very careful on the order. Again, the order tells me BC. B is arc 2. C is arc 3. So on the match over here, arc 2 traveling to arc 3. All right, going to ask you to do that third and final one there real quick. Give you 10 seconds. All right, you should have it. CA side or segment. CA is mark 3. So we're obviously looking at mark 3. The order for CA is angle or arc 3 traveling to arc 1. So the order, correct order, 3, 1. So arc 3 to arc 1. So were you able to find the match of segment FD? Notice that it has a little bar on the top because again, those are technically called line segments. Segments of your triangle. Make sure you got the little bar at the top. Excellent. So our final congruent statement then, after doing all that practice, again, the order matters. So looking at our original triangle, it says triangle symbol ABC is congruent to, we're going to put a triangle symbol there. So the order is ABC. So looking at A, traveling to B, traveling to C. The easiest way for students, again, is to look at the arcs. So arc 1, 2, 3. So again, the order is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So looking at the other triangle, order from 1, 2, 3 goes D, E, F. Because again, arc 1, 2, 3. And don't forget your little triangle symbol in the front. Again, it's really just the order. Now, they're all not going to be alphabetical order. So again, we might change up the letter order. You might have some letters that are skipped. So again, instead of a D, E, F, it might be K, P, Z. I don't know why we might do that, but again, some students just fall into the habit of just doing always alphabetical order. And again, we don't want you to do that. We want you to look at the patterns, if you will, the matches. Now, if you have the picture for our visual students, it might be easier to complete. However, if you don't have the picture, you might actually be able to find the statements, congruent statements here, just doing your proper reading. So, I want you to write this down. Again, polygon ABCD, that's really a quadrilateral because there are 4 letters, and we know that a quadrilateral has 4 sides, 4 angles. It may be a rectangle, it may not. It may just be a traditional quadrilateral. Maybe it's a fancy square, and things like that. But again, it's really just trying to match up the correct order. Give you about 10 more seconds. You got your good statement at the top with your instructions. You don't have to have all of the parts written down yet, because we will go in order. All right, so if we practice reading in order, we can say that angle D is congruent to, well, obviously we need our angle symbol. And then look at your original statement, ABCD. Angle D is considered the last one. It's at the end of the order. So to find your match, because again, it gave us the congruent statement first. Compared to over here, we had the picture, and then we had to make our congruent statement. If we have our congruent statement, we can just match up the order. So again, angle D is at the end, angle Z is at the end. We got our quick match. Our order for our segments, it says segment AD, which means it's the first, and then it travels to the last. First is connected to the last. So looking at the other polygon, we would do the same order. The first is connected to the last. Don't forget your little bar on the top. We got WZ. For this one, it tells us to look at the second polygon, and that's okay. The order is YZ. Let's see, YZ. So that means the third is connected to the fourth. YZ, third is connected to the fourth. So that means on the other polygon, same order. Third is connected to the fourth. Third is connected to the fourth. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and try these next 3. Be careful with your order. I'm going to go ahead and put my timer on and give you 45 seconds. Let's see, stopwatch, go. That was too many seconds. All right, so your third statement, CDA. We've got our CDA. So the order is 3, 4, 1. Because again, the C is the third place, fourth place, and then all the way back to the first. So 3, 4, 1. Kind of like if you think about those arcs, right? If you have the picture, you go 3, 4, 1. So let's see. On the other one, 3 is Y, 4 is Z, and the first arc would be W. So again, the correct order. We want to match up our order. Segment BC, that is second, third. So really just 2, 3. Looking at the other statement, 2, 3, XY. Don't forget the little bar at the top. Whenever it's an angle, make sure you got the angle symbol there. And finally, the last one, X, W, Z. So again, let's see this. X is 2, W is 1, and Z is 4, or the last. So let's see. 2, 1, 4. 2, 1, 4. 2, 1, and then 4 is at the end. So were you able to, oh, look at you. You guys think you're all bad. I don't know if you guys say that anymore. We used to say that all the time. All right, again, it's all about the order. Maybe you want to put a little comment there on your notes. Be careful of the order. All right, it says use the congruency statement to mark the corresponding sides and angles congruent. So for this one, instead of just putting all of the statements down, we're just going to practice our quick marks and arcs. But if you notice, looks like we're missing our second triangle. So we're going to go ahead and give you guys a moment. Again, statement at the top, which are directions. Then you have your congruent statement about quadrilateral ABCD. So again, instead of polygon, it says quad. It does have traditional ABCD. And then the other one, we got, look at the order is not alphabetical order, trying to make sure that you guys are paying attention there. So let me see if I can get some information here. Let's see, we've got our marks already. Our angles, again, the correct order is A, B, C, D. So again, we got arc 1. Man, someone did it out of order. Okay. I would have done angle A is 1, angle B is 2. But let's say you start this way. A little out of order in my opinion, but that's okay. Because it's really just about the matching. There we go. There's that second one. All right, so I'm going to give you a little bit of time to copy that down, and then we're going to go ahead and complete our marks and our arcs. On your homework, you have some problems exactly like this. Some of them are already marked and arced on the first shape, and then you just need to find the matches, the corresponding sides and angles that are congruent on your second shape. All right, let's see. Okay, let's see. If we start with A, angle A has arc 1. So the correct order, again, 1, 1. So that means angle G would have to have arc 1. So if you just go in order on this one, angle B is arc 4. So again, B is in the second position. So that means angle H would be arc 4. So put 4 little curvy things, arcs there. I'll show it on my screen in just a moment. We're practicing some auditory learning right now. Some students are very strong at this. Others, they need the visual component. So I'm trying to stretch your thinking a little bit throughout this year. Again, angle C is the third one, which happens to be arc 3. So the third one is E, so E would be arc 3. And again, you just continue on there. Angle D is arc 2. That's at the back. Angle F is arc 2. Let's see. Oh, that's silly. All right, AB is side 1 or mark 1. It's in the order A to B. GH is the matching order because again, it goes first position, second position. Let's see, and maybe go to mark 2. Mark 2 is DC. So again, that position is 3, 4 because again, it's CD, same thing. CD is position 3, 4. So EF would be position 3, 4. Let's say you just went to BC next though. BC is mark 4. That position is 2, 3 because it's in the second place and the third place. Second place and the third place. So again, we're just trying to match them up. So let's see. EF matches up with CD. GF or FG. Right now, again, we're using our letters. We're not making any statements. So see, FG, that's the fourth place, first place, which again is fourth place, first place, which is 3, 3. And then by default, we got our match there. Now, we already did talk about the arcs, so if you haven't put those yet, remember angle A matches up with angle G. Angle B matches up with angle H, because again, angle B is in second position, angle H is in second position as well. Angle C matches up with angle E. And then finally, that last one, angle D matches up with angle F. So if you notice, we have used our congruency statement to match up or to mark and arc the corresponding signs and angles for this two congruent shapes. All right, we're going to run through this one pretty quick because, again, you're going to get some good practice on your homework. Remember, the notes are online. The video will be online as well, so you'll be able to be awesome there. Now, the reason we wanted to point this one out is because when it is a shared side like this, it's a little bit easier for students to identify that match because, again, they share the same side, which means those sides are congruent. So if you look at the statement, IG and, of course, IG, it's the exact same letters. You have one automatic. And then let's see, GH, GH, GH. So that position is second, third, position, second, third. Let's see if that's what it goes. Ooh, yeah. Hey, look, we got buy two, get one free. So if you notice, the mark ones, again, they shared a sign. We just found mark 2. So the last one's an automatic given, mark 3. Now, when we have our matching angles and they're sharing a side, it is a little bit more complicated. Some students notice right away, though, that angle H and angle T, they're in the same position. So yeah, angle H and angle T. So you got a quick, easy one there. It's these two that share the side that are a little bit more challenging. So that's what we want to be careful of. See, it says right there, if they share the same side, the same vertex, meaning the center point. So the side was the mark 1. The center point again, you gotta have it. So you can't just say angle G matches up with angle G, because I don't know where you're talking about, because they're the same letter, same vertex. Gotta use 3 letters to help us out. All right, so if you were to talk about quote unquote angle G over here, we don't want to say angle G, that's the vertex. So maybe we say IGH, right? IGH. I goes from arc 3 to arc 1 to arc 2. Or you could say, you know what? This match here is in between mark 1 and mark 2. So if you travel, look at, if I start on mark 1, I travel to G, and then I travel to 2, which is IGH. So over here on the other side, 1 to 2. Hey, you know what? We are getting kind of lucky here. 1 to 2, which happens to be IGT. So that's over here. That's that discussion. And then, remember, we already said H and T are going to match up. So that means that this one is arc 3. So again, buy 2, get 1 free. It's all about the order, making sure you guys do the correct order. And it's going to be a good experience. Some students do struggle more on this section than the others. This is just a lot of mental math. If you notice, you're just doing some marks and arcs, a little bit of writing. It's not like you're doing the operations from chapter 1. But again, it's a chance to be able to get your geometry skills ready for high school. All right, and then for 7th grade, the last thing again is vertical angles are congruent. It says a pair of opposite angles created by two intersecting lines, kind of like a big X. We stress this over and over during a 7th grade. So therefore, we would say that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. Some students call it like the top and the bottom. The true statement again is opposite angles, meaning it's on the opposite side, which yeah, it's kind of like top and bottom. Left and right, angle 4 is congruent to angle 2. Or you could have said angle 2 is congruent to angle 4. So therefore, if angle 1, let's say, is 110 degrees, then that means angle 3 is 110 degrees. Angle 2 is maybe 65 degrees. Again, different problem. So that means angle 4 would also be 65 degrees. So again, they are congruent. Excellent. All right, that one was a little quick, so I'm going to ask you to pause the video, make sure students get everything copied down, and then we'll come back together the next time. All right, you guys, you can do this. Be awesome.